That's better. Forgot to put the light on. How are you, my friends? It is Friday. It is Friday, and you have to bear with me. I literally woke up 10 minutes ago. I had it's been a long week, and a couple of those days, a couple of the days this week have been a little sleepless, as in no sleep whatsoever, or a couple of hours here and there, and I got to sleep at around 1 a.m. this morning, and I actually had a good night's sleep, and I slept, and then 7 a.m. the alarm went off this morning because we had stuff to do today, and that was like, fuck, my first night of just actual sleep in a long time, where I probably could have slept in till about 10, 11 o'clock, and no, I had to get up early. And yes, I know I'm privileged, 7 a.m. in the morning. Oh, well, just saying. So yes, got up. When a good cause, I had to get up because I had to go to the gym because I have to work out because the whole C word thing. I have to do strength training now. So today was my second visit, and I went and and I just realized how out of shape I am because it's been so long. I mean, even pre-pandemic, we were going to the gym, I think, twice a week, but that was 18 months ago. And in pandemic, sitting on the ass watching TV, blah blah blah, heart operation, chest out, So to say that I've had a sedentary lifestyle over the past 18 months would not be an understatement. So yes, I'm easing my way back into it with the view of actually, sticking around as long as possible to live a little bit longer. Sorry, I'm looking at the latest commentary on Newcastle versus damn it, where's my see, I'm trying to look for the Newcastle score on Twitter, the Newcastle Leeds United score, and fuck all because of a bunch of spods tweeting on Twitter like, "Oh, Steve Bruce out, blah blah blah." Let's see. So I have to go to the Guardian website. Now I have to go to sport. There you go. Newcastle won, Leeds won. Was it that hard? See, Twitter, do your fucking job. Anyway, I am here. If you are here, say hi. It's very quiet in the chat room. Nobody's saying anything. I'm hoping that we are up and running. Let's see. Hang on. Let's see if my Twitch is up. Oh, there you go. Look at that. D Night Walker's in the house. Am I on the channel? Let's see. Oh, there you go. And that's it. There you go. I'm running. Good. I'm jogging. So, yes. So, like I said, 10 minutes ago, 15 minutes ago, fast asleep in bed. So, I'd gone back to bed for a nap. And so now it's like the wife came in and she's like, "Are you going to do your show?" I'm like, "What time is it?" Water in the hair, wash my face, wake up, put some clothes on. Anyway, I'm glad you're here. I'm glad I'm here. Good evening, Simon Sinclair. Monster Cam, happy Friday to you. D Night Walker in the house, Boss Dooley, Raypad TV. Thank you all for joining. Thank you. I hope you're having a good day. I've had, apart from the insomnia and a couple of, aches and pains and just stomach related things going on, I've had a pretty good week. I must admit, and went to the movies on Wednesday. Second movie inside 8 days. We went to see Free Guy, and that was kind of fun. We went to the same iPic and had the same seats in the corner, and this time nobody else was in the theater, so it was like, fucking great. We moved to a new seat. There was nobody in there at all. We pushed the boat out and had a bottle of sparkling water because we're young and crazy. Took our masks off because what are you going to do? I mean, nobody else was there. I mean, when we saw the lady come in, the waitress lady, we were like, oh, okay, cover our faces up. But the rest of the time, there was nobody else there, and it was the first showing of the day. So, yeah, that was good. So it gives me hope. 2 movies. I feel so spoiled that we've been to 2 movies in a week. What Marvel's What If continues to be what if they finish the fucking thing. That'd be lovely. New episode. I'm not even gonna bother talking about it anymore. I'm just so disappointed in that series. It's definitely the weakest, and maybe I'm suffering from Marvel burnout. Denis Villeneuve, who is the director of the forthcoming Dune reboot, and directed the last Blade Runner movie and the Arrival, and a bunch of other stuff. I mean, the guy does some classy sci-fi shit, which is generally right up my alley. I mean, admittedly, the last Blade Runner movie, I think in about 20 years, it'll be one that I'll finally get, much like the original took a long time for me to understand. But he does some good shit. And he made the comment this week. He said that the Marvel movies have become cookie cutter and, excuse me, they've turned us all into zombies. Well, I'm not a zombie, Dennis. Thank you very much. But I can see the point. I mean, because there's been so much Marvel with the TV series, ironically, only two movies this year with Shang-Chi, which like I said, I didn't really enjoy. And like I said, it was fine. It was just like fine. And Black Widow, which was good. Not outstanding. I think that's probably because it was too late. They should have happened 6 years ago. But because we've had Loki and we've had WandaVision in particular, and then we had What If. I mean, I just wonder if I got marveled out. I really do feel I might have been marveled out. That's why I'm not going to bother watching the rest of What If. And I mean, I've seen the trailer for Hawkeye, which looks pretty cool. But I mean, the beauty of Hawkeye is that it looks like a Christmas show. And Christmas favorite time of year. By Christmas, I'll be ready to watch all this stuff again. But between that, but then Eternals is coming out and Spider-Man No Way Home. So I don't know. Will I feel as blah about those 2 things as I kind of do? Is it just me? Do I have a general malaise? But is he right? Are these movies becoming cookie cutter? I do think Shang-Chi was formulaic and the lead character was underwritten. I don't have a problem with the actor. I think he's a great actor, especially having seen him in Kim's Convenience. But I do think that he was rather bland, rather much like Iron Fist in the Netflix series. And when I'm more interested in the backstory of your sister, who's run away and become this great, this criminal mastermind is now taking over the 10 Rings, and that's the backstory I want to see, then maybe we need to jazz up your character. But anywho. Hi, Bull 3THS. Drucker Patone, have so this is the thing. I hadn't watched the original Dune for ever. I mean, I literally hadn't watched it. And my wife said, oh, let's watch it. And this was during lockdown. And I said, but isn't it like, because I tried to read the book and it's like, isn't it like 2 hours long or 3 hours long? Isn't it a bit like, and she said, here's what we'll do. We'll drink some cocktails and we'll watch it. And so we did. We didn't get paralytic drunk. We got cocktails. And I remember Sting was in it. And I remember there's a fat bloke. I remember there's some really dodgy special effects. Actually, I did kind of enjoy it, especially as for the era it was made in. And I am looking forward to the new Dune. I really am. I've seen the various trailers. I know it's It's on HBO Max in a couple of weeks, and we're gonna watch it. Gonna wait until it's really dark, no lights coming in, turn down everything, surround sound up, and watch it, because I've got a funny feeling it's going to be great. Like I said, Dennis Villeneuve, Villeneuve is quite a great director. But yeah, are we marveled out? Are we suffering from? Has Disney marveled us too much? Ironically, in the year where there's only been 2 Marvel films so far, but there are 2 more still to come. That's so. Yes, I kind of get it. I really do. I don't think they're cookie cutter. I mean, I think unfortunately for me, Endgame was such a poignant end of a 10-year journey that everything else has felt a bit, bit rough since. I mean, we had Spider-Man and then we had Pandemic Man. So it's kind of ruined the flow, but I don't know. And it's going to take something really interesting with regards to an origin story to get my opinion. And let me see. Hello, Frank. Frank Franco. Thank you for dropping by. I appreciate it. And Jedis Thor. Yeah. I mean, that's the thing. And we know there's some great stuff coming from Marvel. I mean, I'm looking forward to the Blade reboot. If I stay around long enough, I would like to see a Deadpool 3. Like I said, Spider-Man No Way Home looks really cool because it's different. But should they perhaps be looking for some of the lesser characters? And I'm not saying Shang-Chi is a lesser character, even though Shang-Chi, unfortunately, is a lesser character. Should they look to perhaps give that one... should that more have had the Disney Plus treatment before going to a movie? I mean, we're looking at She-Hulk, we're looking at Miss Marvel, both characters that, in my opinion, are bigger than Shang-Chi, yet he got his own movie. Maybe it's the case Shang-Chi needs to be written better. Maybe it needs to be more fleshed out. Who knows? This is all very exciting stuff, and stuff we're going to talk about. Gremlin117, Totemish. Hello, but I'm just saying that yes, I think after Endgame, I mean, Endgame was such a seismic. Look, I'm actually, I'm quite awake. This is quite impressive. This is a mochaccino half calf, almond milk. Let me see. Let's see. Yeah. Okay. So, did I watch Black Widow? I did watch. I watched it on Disney Plus. I paid for it. I paid $30 for it. Watched it on Disney Plus. Had no problem with paying for it and watching it there. I do say that if I ever win the lottery between now and when I die, I am going to build a fucking cinema in my backyard. Big fucking screen and just big couple of chairs, big screen, soundproof with fucking surround sound, and just watch all my movies on it. But anyway, let's talk about what else has gone on this week. And I'm going to start with something that really is touching that happened to me on Wednesday. Now, this is all down to a guy named Andre Evans, who is quite literally one of my oldest friends. We've known each other for almost 40 years. We were friends in junior school and through comprehensive school, which is high school in the US rather. Went our separate ways in our late teens, but we still hung out. I mean, he went off to college, I went off to work, and then I moved away for a couple of years, and then we ended up living not too far away from each other when, as grown-ups in our 20s, and we reconnected and hung out more, and he's been out here a couple of times. And, he's like I said, during my teens in particular, he was probably my best friend. And he's just a genuinely wonderful bloke. He lives in Cardiff. Very artistic individual. Now does, it's been, and I'm probably doing him a great disservice, but I mean, he runs his own VFX place. And he does VFX for a bunch of things. I mean, he's an incredibly talented artist. And if you're a long-term follower of me on Facebook or Twitter or whatever, you will probably remember just after I had the heart attack 4 years ago, I got a video message from Peter Capaldi, who was then Doctor Who. And that's because Andre went to a convention in Canada and got to meet Peter Capaldi and said, My friend Marcus is a huge Doctor Who fan, and he died, and he came back. Could you record a little message to him? And he did. Peter Capaldi was amazing, but none of that would have happened without Andre. And this week, that sneaky bugger went and did it again. Not with Peter Capaldi, but so first of all, I got a package on Wednesday morning. I'm like, package coming from Apple TV. What the hell? Okay. And then I opened it. Oh, look at that. Look at that, I tell you. I was like, what the hell's this? I thought, what did the wife do? And she was out at physical therapy for her broken ankle. And I said, lady, what did you do? And she texted back, like, what the fuck are you talking about now? I'm like, I sent her a picture. Because in said box was this. Yeah, I'm glad you're bearing with me because I'm going super slow. Was this? Was this? What? And also, which I thought was quite apt, was that. And she's like, I had nothing to do with it. I'm like, you lie. No, apparently not. And then I got a text from Andre with, okay, so explanation time. I'm like, what? How? Who? Because he'd texted a couple of days before to ask for our home address. And then he sent me the link. And if you're following me, you know the link I'm talking about. So you follow me on Instagram or Facebook or Twitter. On Wednesday, I shared a video message from Christoph Fernandez, who is the actor who plays Danny Rojas in Ted Lasso. Danny freaking Rojas. Football is life. And it was an amazing message. It was just heartfelt. It turns out Christo and Andre have been working together on and off for a long time on different things. So before he hit the big time with Ted Lasso, he and Andre knew each other. And again, Andre just decided to share this with him, that what my situation is, the fact that I'm like, at some point soon-ish, maybe 2 years now, fingers crossed. And then he sent me this message, and it's just, I wasn't sure whether to share it. I actually asked Andre to ask Christo if it's okay to share it, because it's such a beautiful message, but I didn't want him to think that, some people are uncomfortable with doing that sort of stuff outside of just the person they're with, the person it's intended for. And I did. And like I said, if you haven't seen it, if you go to, let's see, where is it? Annoyed Gamer on either Twitter or Instagram. Instagram is the one where it is, because at Annoyed Gamer on Twitter, I mean, Twitter wasn't big enough to carry it. So watch it. It's such an amazing message, a positive message about life, about family, about friends. And I admit it got me all kind of weepy. And it just shows that I am so lucky. I mean, and this like I said, this is from my friend. I mean, I am so glad I saw him on my last trip to the UK. Every time I go to the UK, me and Andre hang out. We go for a pint. Obviously, Shauna comes too. She knows Andre. She loves Andre as well. But I mean, to have somebody like that, he was actually the best man at my first wedding as well. But to have somebody like that who just does something like that for you, because he knew I'm a huge fan of the show, and he knew Christoph Fernandez, butchering pronunciations. Have some more coffee. So it was just so amazing, and I'm just so grateful that I've had this man in my life since, for 40 odd years. So lucky to have a friend like that who's just it doesn't do it for thanks. He doesn't do it for for me to share his thing on Twitter and say, "Oh, look, everybody follow him," and blah blah blah. He gets nothing out of it, but he knows it made me happy. That's the second time he's done it. How fucking cool is that, man? How genuinely nice, with such an amazing heart. And I'm so lucky I've got lots of friends like that. So many friends like that. So yeah. That was really powerful. And then, so thanks to Andre and thanks to Christo, I'm very blessed. I mean, according to the video, he's watching the show, so I'm sorry about that one. Thank God I haven't said anything bad about Ted Lasso. I will not continue. I will continue not to share anything bad about that show, because I watched the new episode, and oh my fucking God, I'm going to talk about it right now. And while it is, yes, non-existent on the footballing level, it has no football. If you haven't seen this, the new episode that dropped last night, I mean, I say it dropped last night here in the US on the West Coast, because I think they drop it at midnight in Eastern time, 9 o'clock Thursday night. It's up. I can watch it. Hurrah! So we did, and without wanting to spoil it, and I'm not going to go in depth, but it follows directly on from last week's episode and Richmond's twatting at the hands of Man City. That totally blew out my whole fairy tale cup final run. They were going to win the cup final, and we were going to have we're going to have that happy ending. But yeah, at the very end, Coach Beard says that he's not going to take the team bus. He's going to find his own way home. He needs to cogitate, ruminate, as we all do, especially after a sporting shellacking about like that. You have to figure your head out. And then the show, you see Ted at the very beginning, you see Ted at the very end, but the rest of the time it's all Brendan Hunt, who is Coach Beard, and it's fucking brilliant. It's his wild night in London, and anybody who's my age, or has had one of those nights, especially if you were sort of like growing up in the 80s, and then in the 90s, when things were a little bit, there was no cell phones, and it was just you were more independent of doing things. Everybody's had that night. Everybody's had that one wild night. I've actually had quite a few of them over the years. I've had one of them in San Francisco when I worked there, when I was working at Ubisoft, when I lived there. I've had one or two of them in London when I lived in London when I was working at Hewland, which was doing Games Master. And it involved going to the pub, getting a night bus home, bus breaking down, walking back, deciding I'm hungry at 3 o'clock in the morning, walking around trying to find somewhere to eat, and just ending up in some bizarre places. I had one with my friend Andre, actually. We went out one night, got a cab home. We were going back to his place to crash, and the cab broke down. And I think a door handle fell off or something, one of the doors, when we tried to get out. And we were like miles from his house. And we were like, oh, well, we're going to have to try and walk. And the cab driver wouldn't let us out because he was like, you still have to pay. I'm like, dude, you couldn't get us where we're going. We still have to walk like 4 or 5 miles. But yeah, we've all had those nights. Like I said, that night, the night that Coach Beard has had, not quite that level of crazy, but I think a lot of us can relate. And it's just a great episode. I'm glad we get to see more Brendan Hunt. I mean, when we get to see some talents that, if that isn't CGI, if that's his actual talent, when you watch the episode, you know what I'm talking about. When the music is playing, if that's an actual talent of his, is he in a circus or something? Was he in Cirque du Soleil? I mean, how random is that? Because the guy is like my age. I think he's like 49. But I think it's pretty brilliant. It is just pretty brilliant. And again, the show, this felt like one of the extra episodes. They're like, oh, okay, Apple wants 2 extra episodes. We get the Christmas one. We've got this one because we can put this gap in. Or we can create this gap, put this show in, it will fit, and then we get back to the show to the final couple of show episodes arc. And yeah, I could totally relate to it. It's friggin' brilliant. It involves drowning your sorrows. It involves meeting up with people you didn't know would be your friends. It involves escapades, adventures, the night bus, clubs. The only thing that was missing, to be honest with you, was a fucking doner kebab at 3 a.m. in the morning, because everybody in the UK knows if you are going to be drunk and out, at some point you're going to need food, and there's no KFC. There's no burgers in the UK. You don't do that. You have a full-on doner kebab with chili and garlic sauce. I speak from experience, many years experience. So yes, it was just a great, random, unexpected episode, and I love that this season is just throwing us these curveballs. And yeah, I want more. I can't wait to see what they've got next week. So yeah, I know people are down on this season again. As I said before, it's like, oh, it's not making me laugh. Honestly, if some of these experiences don't make you laugh, then you're a soulless git. And if you can't find joy in how these characters are growing in front of our very eyes, and that they're not standard 2D American sitcom characters, I mean, it's joyous, and it's great writing, and yeah, it's fantastic. It's fantastic. All right, let's see. I'm going to say hello to Stage Select. Ian Long, nice to see you. Thank you very much. Let's see. Okay. I'm just going, wow, there's a lot of people. Total Mish, hello. Yes, oh my God, there's a lot of people in here. There is so much stuff going on. Lots of talking. There's also the last thing I had before I went off on, obviously, that started about Ted Lasso and all the amazing stuff. Oh, and by the way, so what you reckon? Do I shave this all off and dye this and do Ted Lasso, or do I just do Coach Beard for Halloween? Who knows? That's the question. That is the question. Let's see. Questions. Gremlin, how you doing? All right, Dune. Yes, like I said, I'm looking forward to seeing it. Absolutely, I can't wait to have a look at it. Let's see. Jedda's thought. I think they'll bring Cap and Iron Man back for Secret Wars. Well, we know that Chris Evans is talking. Is in talks apparently with Marvel on a secret project, but we don't know if Tony Stark, if Robert Downey Jr. is. I mean, he's allegedly just done. I mean, it's made him hundreds of billions of trillions of dollars because he's been getting the back end of everything. And good for him. Fantastic actor. And a fantastic actor with a very troubled teens and 20s and 30s who got his shit together, is super healthy, is super socially conscious, has an animal rescue up on the coast. And yeah, just by all understanding, a very, very nice guy. Let's see. Okay, look at right. Sorry, I'm just gonna. Okay, stage select is. Oh my God! All right, stage select is tripping balls because of taking antihistamines. Okay, well, just be very careful. We're talking about Doctor Who. Peter Capaldi, yes, he really did have some, need some better scripts. Some of his episodes were brilliant. I still think the Husbands of River Song was probably one of his best episodes. Was certainly one of the best Christmas specials. It's one of my favorites. Stage select. Would my wife like Ted Lasso? We don't like sports except hockey, I guess. Honestly, there's not a huge amount of soccer there is in the first season. A certain amount where you get to see the players and you learn more about the club. But it is more about behind the scenes, and the characters are fantastic. And as they develop, they do not go in the direction you expect them to. I mean, there's a reason that this show has I think it just won a Best New Show at like an American award. I think the Emmys are coming up. I mean, this show is going to crush. It was the right show at the right time. Yes, Drucker Patron, I agree with you. Jodie Whittaker has had such shitty stories. She's a fine actress. Fine as in, she does really good work. I mean, Broadchurch, any of the stuff before that, you see her, and she is a really talented actress. And she has shone in some of the episodes, especially the ones towards the beginning, the Rosa Parks episode in particular, which I think is probably the finest of this run of Doctor Who. She has been so badly served by the showrunner. Yeah, I feel sorry for her in a lot of ways. Let's see. Okay. Ted Lasso has more fans than Man City. Well, more fans are likely to turn up to watch Ted Lasso than to turn up at the Etihad tomorrow at 3 p.m., apparently, according to Pep Guardiola. And that's in response to the manager of Manchester City. He made a comment this week after his team had won a European Champions League game against RB Leipzig. I think it was 6-3. After match comments, it's like, we need our fans to come and support us against Southampton this Saturday at 3 p.m. Like, hang on. You are reigning Premier League champions, Champions League finalists. You've got the most expensive fucking squad in the league. You've won the League Cup 20 times in a row. You obviously can't crack Europe, but c'est la vie. And are you telling me that your fans aren't turning up on a weekend to see a game? Every game is probably fucking sold out. Or maybe it's just because a lot of your fans are prawn sandwiches. Yes, the prawn sandwich brigade, a phrase coined by Roy Keane, not Roy Kent, and in response to the fair weather fan who turns up when a team is successful. And they'll go, oh, yes, look at that. I follow the football. Yes, who's winning? Oh, Manchester City. And they look like they're going to win for a while, too. Oh, yes, well done. Good goal. And I'm not angling this at American fans or fans from any other country, because I know a couple of American fans who are actual bona fide Man City fans. Can't imagine how the fuck they got into them back in the day, but they're obviously gluttons for punishment. But they know the bona fides. There are a couple of prawn sandwich merchants around. Liverpool picked them up a couple of years ago as well. Manchester United before that, Chelsea, etc. But are you trying to tell me that Manchester City doesn't have enough fans coming in every week at home to fill the Etihad Stadium? That's a problem. And you have all this money to spend $100 million on a player. Ooh, wouldn't it be awful if Financial Fair Play came in and said, your Saudi paymasters or your Abu Dhabi paymasters will not be allowed to fund you anymore. You've got to actually be profitable by yourselves. Yeah. So, boo-hoo, fuck off, Pep. Great coach, but shut up. And I know the coach of my team, Liverpool, Jurgen Klopp, he gets on people's nerves too, and they can tell him to fuck off too, because he has his moments. But we had a cracking win as well, 3-2 against AC Milan. First time we played them since the European Cup final in 2007 when we lost 2-1. And obviously we had that great game in 2005 in Istanbul where we finished 3-3 and beat them on penalties to win the fifth of our European trophies. We are now at 6. We're now at 6 because we beat Spurs a couple of years ago, and Manchester City is still at. Have some fun. Hello, Thomas P1201. Hello, Martin Hansen. Oh my God, Martin Hansen. Now here we go. This is another one of my oldest friends. Martin, and Andre hung out a lot when we were kids. Another very old friend, back from the growing up, and another one I've been lucky enough to stay in touch with. And I will say, the best friends are the ones who stick with you through thick and thin, and you can always just catch up with and say, "Oh, I'm coming back from America. Are you going to be around?" "Yes, let's go to the pub." And that's what we do. And Martin is another really, really good bloke who I'm very blessed to have in my life. And he's, my mum always says when she sees him around our the hometown of Ponta del Ice, or the Bont, as we call it. Let's see. There is a charity called Movember that invites men to grow big mustaches for in the month of November. And it's for prostate cancer. And basically they get people to sponsor them, and they keep the big old porn stash going through the month of November. I did it probably about 5 or 6 years ago. I think I raised a couple of $100 at the time. And yes, I'm probably going to do that again this year, because now, ironically, as we know, the prostate, the cancer, it's here. It's paid a personal visit. So, I might just do that for Movember. So yes, thanks for bringing that up, Boss Dooley. That's a great idea. I think I might just do that. Let's see. Okay, D. Knight Walker, quick recommendation. New comedy starring Greg Davis. Isn't Greg Davis like the 9-foot-tall former teacher? It's called The Cleaner. Okay, I'll have a look at that. Okay, I'm still catching up. You have to bear with me. I haven't even got to part. What else am I going to talk about, actually? You know what? Screw the comments for the moment. Not screw the comments. I mean, you're great. You're all commenting. Hi, Dan. Thank you very much for joining. I'm going to talk about something else that happened yesterday, actually. And this is one that, again, me and Martin and Andre, as kids, we were kind of like bound together with. A man passed away in the UK. His name was Clive Sinclair. He was actually Sir Clive Sinclair. He was inventor, a futurist. He invented something called the Sinclair C5, which was a little electric 3-wheel vehicle. It was really ahead of its time. But he was also responsible for the Sinclair ZX Spectrum 48K, which is the computer that brought video games and computer games into the homes of so many British families, and pretty much kickstarted the video game industry in the UK. So many people I know, so many people I have worked with on the development side, the ones who are my age, started on a Spectrum. It was reasonably priced. It was like £129, which was a lot of money. I mean, I saved up and bought mine. The games came on tape. They were 48K little tapes, anywhere from £1.99 to £10 was the most expensive game. Rare, they came from the Spectrum. They were originally Ultimate Play the Game, and long before they became Rare, they were making some of the best Spectrum games out there. You can find Spectrum emulators anywhere. I recommend one called Fuse. Don't be looking for the most in-depth gameplay or the most awesome graphics. The sound is, it was a cheap little computer. Most of the games were monochrome because it couldn't handle multiple colors. But it taught a whole generation how to code. And it taught, in my case, it didn't teach me to code. I mean, the basic was basic. It was like, you'd type in, 10, print, fuck off. 20, go to 10, and then literally the screen would just say fuck off, fuck off, fuck off, because I was a teenager. I was going but some people learned to code. A lot of people learned to code, and they got jobs at companies that became big companies. The Rockstar Games, Rockstar North, the original GTA. My understanding is that those chaps all had Spectrums, and that's how they started. It was the original indie game scene that became the British game scene that we see today. Sensible Software, Sensible Soccer, Team 17, Worms, etc. And this man, it's safe to say that without this man, I mean, I probably would have found something else to do. Andre had one, Martin had one, and I had one. And a couple of my other friends had one as well. And we'd swap games. We'd copy games for each other because, you know, someone would buy one of us would buy a game, and then we do tape to tape and copy it, and somebody else, you know, much like music at the time, because that's the way you could do it. And just the quality of the games, because these games were so small. I mean, you send bigger email attachments nowadays. Because these games were so small and didn't have that much memory, the onus on the games designers to be very creative and try and be original and do cool different things is pretty amazing. Somebody in here called Simon Sinclair, who is actually one of Patreon supporters, and you'll see them in the chat room. Scroll up, look for their icon. It's Jetpack, or Lunar Jetman rather, which is a character that Ultimate created, Ultimate becoming then Rare. And if you have the Xbox pack, the Rare games collection, you have, I think, Saberwolf, Attic Attack, which they've redone. Those games you can actually play on Xbox or on PC, and like I said, you can play them on an emulator. It's so, you know, easy to find them around. But yeah, this guy made, I mean, he started off with the ZX81 and then went to the Spectrum, and they brought a 128K version. But yeah, this visionary man got an entire country into computer games that became video games, and got people interested with regards to either, you know, just playing or coding or becoming artists, or, you know, got me interested in and knowledgeable enough that I could then move on to other, you know, game systems and get into the industry. And I'm now standing here 40 years after 1982. So 39 years ago was when the Spectrum launched. And Martin had the first one. Andre had one too. I came late to it. I had the Spectrum Plus, which had the proper keyboard as opposed to the rubber keyboard. Because, you know, I came, like I said, late to the party. But yeah, I just want to, you know, this man passed away, and his impact on what was a predominantly American and Japanese dominated industry was amazing. I mean, Britain in the 80s, we had two companies. We had Spectrum and Amstrad. We did have there were two other computers. The Dragon 32, which was the only home computer ever made in Wales. Didn't last very long, alas. And then the BBC Micro Model B, which was bizarre, a license from the BBC. It was supposed to be this educational machine. Again, only 32K. Really expensive. Looked like a full-on typewriter. But because it had the words BBC stamped on it, every school system in the country stumped up for it. And it was pretty basic, where they could have got 10 times the amount if they got a bunch of Spectrums instead. But yeah, it made Britain a real hotbed for you know, for computer games and video game development. And, you know, that's why a lot of, you know, companies had their headquarters there. You know, pre-Brexit, I think some still do, but most are now moving off. But this man, I wouldn't be standing here talking to you if it wasn't for Sir Clive. I mean, that's how fucking amazing it is. And I just want to take a minute to say thank you. If there is a great beyond, if there is a great hereafter, or something, or next level that we get to go to, that at some point I'm going to visit in the not too distant, and he is able to watch these sort of things and see these things, I'm just going to say thank you. I mean, changed my life, set my life on a whole different trajectory. So yeah, I just wanted to share that. I mean, it was just amazing. Just an amazing man who did amazing things. And he got computers into homes in Britain before even VCRs. Spectrums were more prevalent, and ZX81s were more prevalent. These tiny little things than video cassette players, VCRs. I mean, our house, we had a Spectrum before we had a VCR. Long before. So, Okay. So yes, thank you, Sir Clive, if you're up there. Drucker Patron. My opinion of From Software games still that bad. I don't have a bad opinion of From Software games. They're just too much like masochism for me, especially as my time is now super precious. I am picking and choosing what I can do. I actually have a worse opinion of From Software fans who insist that they don't put in an easier mode than I do of the company. The company is making their games, and their games are making a lot of people happy, but they're also creating a legion of gatekeeping fuckwads who just get so pissy because somebody can't beat Dark Souls on Super Elite version, then therefore they're not a true gamers, and you're not true otaku. I'm like, piss off. I respect what From Software does. I mean, and if they make stuff, introduce an easier mode, something that I can get into, because again, I'm 50 years old, my health is declining. I mean, I am standing right now, which is great, but 2 weeks ago I had to do a show where I sat down the entire time because I'm sick. The eyesight is going. I'm wearing glasses now. My hand-eye coordination, not as good as it was. So I don't have the capacity, especially with the drugs I'm on. And it's not the good type of drugs. I mean, I'm on chemo drugs. I'm on blood pressure drugs. I'm on antiplatelet drugs, blood pressure, all sorts of shit. They affect my cognitive, cognations. I'm not as sharp as I used to be. So it's more difficult to learn combos and stuff like that. So I've got no problem with some From Software. I can't even say From Software. I've got more of a problem with people who are like, oh, well, we're just going to keep this over here and demand that you never do an easy mode because we don't let filthy casuals in. Go jerk off into a cup, people. And that's not you. I'm not talking about you here. It's a very good comment, very good question. I very much appreciate it. Okay. So people talking about Games Master's coming back. Yes, Jedi thought they're relaunching Games Master. I don't know how that's going to work in the new millennium. Games Master was a show from the mid 90s. Dominic Diamond, my friend Dominic Diamond, was the host for the longest time. Then he stepped away, and Dexter Fletcher stepped in for a season. Didn't really work. Dominic came back. Dexter Fletcher, however, has done quite well for himself since. He's now a very big deal director. Everybody would have known about him from either Games Master or a TV show called Press Gang, in a kids' TV show in the 80s. So he's done early 90s. But yes, look up Games Master. I was actually on Games World initially, but I ended up working on Games Master for half a season before walking off because I was just so pissed off with the treatment there. Irked me no end. I just basically walked off. I went for lunch one day and never went back. That was that was a long time ago. Don't condone it, but I was just it was just not a good fit for me. But it got happy memories of the show. I don't know how they're going to reboot it. It's a different company. It's the same company that's doing Feature Publishing, I think, or whatever they're called now. This does PC Gamer and a bunch of other stuff. Who ironically had the rights to the Games Master magazine. So it was on Channel 4 and Hewland Consultants, which became Hewland International was the company, the production company I worked for, and they're the ones who did Games Master. We shall see. I guarantee you, when I find it online, I will sit there and I will go, "Oh, it's all crap with you young people," because it's probably all going to be Fortnite challenges and TikTok videos and dabbing and running of jewels. There you go. Yes, Bandersnatch runs on the Spectrum. Okay. Yeah, we'll see how. I've actually signed. It's funny. Dominic actually has a Kickstarter for a Games Master oral history book that I contributed to, and I think it's due later on this year. It's going to be a good Christmas present for me. The last Kickstarter I contributed to, I can't even remember where the bloody thing went now. Damn it! It's here somewhere. Actually, it was a Spectrum magazine, back when we'd have magazines that talked about video games and computer games. And Crash was the one we all got. That was the best one. There was kind of punk rock version of games journalism. And it's funny, years later, I got to meet some people who'd actually written for it, and they became my peers in the games industry because they stayed in the games industry and because they were my age or teenagers when they were writing for it. And I was kind of like, the first time I met somebody like Rich Eddy, who last I heard was the mayor of Warwick. And he's just a wonderful, wonderful human being. And Jazz Rignall, who worked for the Zap 64, which was the Commodore 64 version. Anywho, all right. So, those couple of topics are done. I talked about Sir Clive. I've talked about the amazing Ted Lasso episode and the amazing gift and message that my friend arranged for me. Now I'm going to talk about an actual game that came out this week, and an actual game that I have played all the way through and completed. I'm talking about DeathLoop. That's right, folks. DeathLoop came out this week, and I'd already played it and completed it. So there you go. Yeah, I was very, very lucky to play it a little while back and play it all the way through and play some multiplayer, the invasion mode. And I got to say, I am such a sucker for Arcane Studios. Now, obviously, this is only available on the PC and the PS5, so I played it on the PC. And like I said, Arcane Studios, Dishonored 1 and 2 in particular. Dishonored 1 was just such a breakthrough game for me. I loved what they did. Dishonored 2 just kept that going. Now, Deathloop is one of those roguelike, lather, rinse, repeat, Groundhog Day kind of games where you die and you restart over and over and over again. You start the day over, and there are 4 sections to the day and you have 4 different sections of this island that you wake up on that you have to explore and solve puzzles. I've never solved a puzzle. And it's the trademark, of Arcane Studios. It's great weapons, great combat, lots of sneaky, some very cool powers that you can get and you can upgrade, and the trinkets you can attach. And some of the weapons look really quite cool. And the multiplayer consists of, it's not standard multiplayer. Somebody can invade your game as the female character and hunt you down. And when they hop into your game, they lock off the exit, so you have to get to a certain device, disable it, and if they kill you, you lose. You go back to the start of the day, and when you initially start off, you can't take things with you like weapons or powers, and you have to find a certain thing to do. And the story is just so great, and I gotta say, it's my favorite game of the year, beating out Boyfriend Dungeon. No. I mean, it's beating out Mass Effect Legendary. The fact that Mass Effect Legendary, the trilogy that is a decade old, is my favorite game of the year, along with Path of Exile. I think those were the two. But it goes to show that I'm not playing as many games as I should. But Deathloop is just... The story is great. The voice acting is top notch. It's a beautiful island just to explore, to sneak around. And you got some of the powers that can give you a little bit of stealth and visibility for X amount of time before it drains down. You get a teleport one. You can actually, pick people up, throw them. You can push them. But it's just a great story. And especially when you get into it, I mean, initially I got to a stuck point and I felt I was repeating, quite literally the same as in Groundhog Day, where Bill Murray just gets to the stage where the novelty wears off and he's like, he goes and jumps in the bath, drops the toaster in, or jumps, in front of a train or whatever. I wasn't quite that bad, but I could see the fatigue setting in, and then I found something that set me off again. And I was off exploring again, and you get to the stage where you have to go, oh shit, everything's in place. I've learned everything that I need to do. Boom, 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 boom. At this time, at that time, this place, there. and get everything done. And when you complete the game, it's such a sense of achievement that you've pulled everything together. You're like, fuck, what do I do now? And then you just get to wander around and you can restart the game, or you can level up your other character, the lady character, and go and invade people's games and dick around with them. Which I thoroughly recommend as well, by the way. But even, if and it's actually quite funny when people invade your game thinking, oh, you're probably not that advanced, and you've actually towards the end of the game and you have a lot of different weapons that you've kept, and they're all high end weapons, and you've got the high end trinkets, and you're basically kitted out to kick anybody's ass, and somebody jumps into your game, locks the exit, and like, oh, I'm gonna torture you, I'm gonna tell, boom, and you just got them like that. Very satisfying. It's a great game. I thoroughly recommend it. If you don't have a PS5, I mean, if you have a PS5, I recommend it. Seriously. I mean, what else is there on the PS5 that's come out this week or this year? I don't know. You tell me, because I literally don't know because I don't have a PS5. If you have a PC with Games Pass, get it if it can run it. I mean, it's a fantastic game. I mean, it is exclusive, apparently only for a year. That's the scuttlebutt. I think people, I think it was gamesindustry.biz deduced that it's a 1 year exclusive. So this time next year there will be a Deathloop, and you can imagine all Deathloop sequels will come to Xbox, because Bethesda, owned by Microsoft, and Arcane, owned by Bethesda, and so on. Yeah, it's just a fantastic game. A fantastic game. I've been reading some people have had some tech issues. I never had that problem. But yes, thoroughly fantastic and fun game, especially if you're talking smack to your friends while playing Invasion, by the way. How long does one run take? Oh, jeepers. It took me a good few hours. I mean, I because of the way I tend to play, a little bit slow, a little bit stealthy. Even when I got into, all right, now I know what to execute here, here, and here, and then that's opened that puzzle so I can go here. Probably about 10 to 12 hours. And that was, like I said, with me flowing towards the end. And that's, that was on medium difficulty. There are obviously quite crazy difficulties. Stage select is addicted to Hades, but he's worrying nothing will fill the void. Trust me, Deathloop will fill the void. I loved Hades, but it did get repetitive. So I actually have Prey. Pavel, thank you for joining us, by the way. Super Moxie's in the house as well, yes. RP Genius, oh, finally. Nice of you to join us, my friend. Yes, I'm sure you can watch it after the Crystal Palace game tomorrow, because Liverpool Crystal Palace tomorrow. Yeah, so Deathloop, thoroughly recommend it. I mean, it's a great freaking game. Really recommend it. If you have any interest in shooters with meat, shooters with a bit of heart, shooters with a bit of heft to them. Yeah, it's basically the anti-Fortnite, and I don't mean that as a criticism of Fortnite, but that's, as I've said before, is fast food gaming to me, and it doesn't give me the same level of satisfaction as something you can invest your time in. I actually played it quite intensively over a couple of days, and found myself dreaming about being on the island, because I was doing some of the playing late at night, and just how beautiful it is, and just exploring various areas. I didn't get all the messages. I didn't find all the things about it. So I thoroughly, heartily recommend it. I think, I mean, it's not on Games Pass. I think it is on Games Pass, actually. Is it on PC Games Pass? Let's have a look. It should be. Xbox app. Come here, Xbox app. Oh, of course, you're super slow now, aren't you? Oh, that's not you. Oh, there you go. Hey. Oh. Oh, I don't think it's on Games Pass. Is it? Oh, hang on. Day one releases. Let's go. No, I think it may not be. So, nope, Dishonored is. And no Deathloop. I'm saying that. Yeah, it's not on there. So, Anyway, Fantastic game. Try it out. All right. So, Playland MX. Hello. Nice of you to join us too. I mean, everybody who's come in. Thank you. Thank you. You caught me on Energy Day. Thanks to my half-calf mocha light and the fact that I was asleep until 1:50 p.m. and I had a nice nap. Coffee. I am going to start winding down because, you know, I'm old. I am old. I do have a message in the Discord. So what does the Discord say? And I will say, Sundancer saying that he was too tired. Bless him. So, yes, I will say thank you to Slinky from the Discord channel who suggested the Sir Clive influence, the discussion about Sir Clive Sinclair and his influence on me and a lot of gamers, a lot of people from the games industry in Britain, and I think possibly in Europe in the 80s. Yeah. So thank you for that one. And I will say that it's funny. The last couple of days in particular, the Discord has picked up something. Has picked up in the Discord chat, and obviously the Discord channel is part of the Patreon. And obviously, this is where I'm going to talk about this section right here. I do have a Patreon, and I've cut the Patreon options down to 3. There is the base one, which is $3 a month. The next level, which is $6, and the new top tier, which is whopping $25 a month. But it doesn't get you a Ted Lasso hat, but it gets you that. It gets you the beer mug. And what it does is it helps. It helps me keep the lights on. It helps me pay for the internet. It's going to help me pay for medical bills. Now, how exciting is that? So yes, if you from the most base level, you get in and you get in on the Discord, and we have a chat, and I'm going to be doing some Zoom conversations with the top tier people in the next couple of weeks. But I will also do especially as things start to get a little more busy and there's more stuff to talk about, I'm going to be doing some Discord chats with everybody in Discord, and we'll do some live after and before show stuff as well. So if you have a few dollars to toss to that, great. If not, totally understand. Times they are hard. We are still in the throes of a pandemic, but this mug is so. Well, let's face it. When I'm gone, this mug is going to go too. And yes, that's it. I think that's it. Melchior 1, nice of you to join me. Thank you. The movie, yes. If on Xbox, I think on the Xbox app, they Xbox Games Pass for PC, they have all the DLC for Prey. They also have it for Dishonored. They have it for Fallout 1, 2, 3, and 4. Oh yes, random thing I found out about Brendan Hunt going back to Ted Lasso and Coach Beard. Apparently, he contributed a voice or two to Fallout 4. That's what it says on Wikipedia. So take that with a pinch of salt. Who knows? Who knows? Indeed, who knows? You get that one. That is me. Disturbed Swan. He has to wait for his birthday for 2 weeks tomorrow. Well, happy birthday for 2 weeks to tomorrow. On the subject of future streams, next Friday's stream will not be happening on Friday. I will probably move it to Thursday. And I'll tell you why. I'm back at the dentist getting a crown put in. And this is the final piece of dental surgery that I need that allows me to start the bone strengthening treatment. That, as I said before, it's been held up because I need to get this dental treatment done. I broke a tooth the first week of the pandemic, and it's been throbbing for 18 months. But once that's in, I'll be taking the bone strengthening stuff that combined with my new super improved diet, because my diet's been pretty amazing, especially over the last 3 to 4 years, I would say, apart from the occasional naughtiness. but the diet's up to another level, and the meds that I'm on, and going to the gym 3 times a week for strength training to build up the muscle, because my weight has actually started to go down. I lost like 10 pounds inside 2 weeks, and that's the muscle going. So yeah, I won't be doing a show next Friday, because which will probably be a step up than on most shows. But I'm not going to put you all through that. So I'll do the show either Thursday, or I'll do it on the weekend. I'll do it on the weekend where people can be a little more mellow, a little bit more available. I'll do it a little earlier for my European friends. And yeah, that's what we'll do. We're looking at doing it maybe on the Sunday. Depends when Liverpool are playing. If Liverpool are on Saturday, I'll do it on the Sunday. If Liverpool on Sunday, maybe I'll do it opposite the Man City game. Piss off, Raypad. I kid. He's a good man. Thank you. Oh, Annalie, sub level 28 is just the best. She's been with me longer than any other supporter, and I'm not going to say the word fan, because I have a problem with that word, but a supporter of everything I've done way back to sort of like even before Game Trailers, when I was hosting a show called The Gamer on a streaming service called Blaze. That was when, again, I'd go into a studio and I'd give them videos that on a thumb disk, and they'd upload them, and that was way back in the way backs. I was a pioneer, I tell you. This is before your Twitches and your YouTubes. Yes, Blaze. It was blaze.com, I think it was, yeah. /The Gamer. They had a Christmas special once. That was funny. They pulled out all the stops. And I got a bunch of stuff that I got from various, like it was a Christmas gift guide. But anywho, I am going to take my leave. I've been prancing around for an hour. I need to eat something. Thank you so much for joining. You won't see me next Thursday. Friday. You'll probably see me Saturday or Sunday, depending on how the tooth feels. Be good, be kind, behave, but still have fun. Life is too short. Crack open a bottle of something. Have that crazy meal that you've always wanted. You tell somebody that you have a crush on them, but obviously in a respectful manner, and accept that if they don't have it the same way. Carpe diem, seize the carp or the fish or whatever the hell it is, and just be your best version of yourself. That's all you can do. And if we do have more than one life, I find out a way to come back and stream from wherever. But that's not going to happen for a couple of years. I'm going to be around a couple of years. But thank you. Thank you so much. Nightwing, Disturbed Swan, good to see you. Thank you so much, everybody. You are all fantastic people, and I wish you nothing but the best, and I will see you all in 8 or 9 days' time. Take it easy. Go Liverpool on tomorrow morning against Crystal Palace. Thank you very much.